Hi, this video will show you just a few things about your 1973 Sanyo Pachinko machine. The DVD that we're sending you with the machine has several hours of information about these vintage Pachinko machines, setup, troubleshooting, tips and tricks, that sort of stuff. But just so you can get going as quickly as possible, let's go over a few things. The first is, before we flip it around to set it up, I want to show you two things, one in this window here and one here. If you ever don't have enough balls in the top supply tray and back, there's a lever that activates and it'll shut off the flow of balls from here into your shooter lane. So if you're ever flipping and nothing's happening, it's probably because you need to load the balls. I'll zoom in and let's take a look at that. Okay, there's not much to see in this window here. There's a little red part, so once you add balls, it lifts up out of the way. The main thing we want to look at is over here. Here's where the balls go through. You can see the little tip of the red part. Now it moves out of the way, letting the balls flow in. Let me just tilt it down a little bit. That's how that works. Now let's flip it around and take a look at the back. Now there is a ball drain lever, so when you have all your balls up here and let's say you needed to empty your machine to get them out, there's a lever here. I'll zoom in a minute. When you get this at home, it should be set in a proper position. It shouldn't move during shipment. But just in case it does, I want to go ahead and show you. Okay, this little metal tab right here is your ball drain. Right now it's in the wrong position. See these two white arms? They will pivot down, and as they pivot down, balls will drain down through this drain chute. So what you'll want to do is pull this to the left, and those levers popped into the correct position. Now they're latched. So we got the ball drain lever in the correct position. The most common problem with Pachinko machines is the one ball seesaw, which is right in this window here. There's a little chrome rectangular piece and it has two Pachinko balls in it that act as counterweights. And that seesaw pivots up and down as you get jackpots. Right now it's in the incorrect position, and in this position jackpots won't get paid and balls will back up into your machine. So you need to reset that lever to this position. And you do that simply by pushing up on this little white plunger here. Okay, now it's set in the proper position. So you always want to check and make sure that's taken care of. Now we'll put power to your machine. You really don't need power to your machine, only to run a couple of light bulbs. So you can do it one of two ways. Right now I've got a 9-volt battery here. You can flip this over and connect the battery. You could also pull that plug off the battery and plug it to this plug, which is a transformer that you can plug into the wall. So you can either run it off a battery or off of this plug. Just don't take this plug here and plug it into the battery, because then the battery will get really hot and explode or something really dangerous. I don't know. But just you would plug the plug if you want to plug this into the wall. So right now we'll just go off the battery. And when we do that, there are 3 light bulbs that this battery operates up at the top of your machine. You see the one in the middle is lit. That one tells you that you don't have enough balls in the supply tray, and it comes on and stays on. These other 2 light bulbs will flash when you get a jackpot. So we're going to add balls to the top supply tray. So we'll pour balls in here, and as we do, they'll hit a lever and it'll turn out that light. Okay, then you'll want to take your bucket and you'll want to put it at the bottom of the machine. Place bucket here so that balls that come out of this chute here and this chute here will fall into your bucket. So we'll just set that right there. Now we'll turn the machine around and play. I just want to mention, in addition to the light coming on to let you know you need to fill up your supply tray with balls, there's also a window in this corner, and through that window you can see some balls. So if ever that window is empty, that's another indicator that you need to fill the machine up with balls. So you've got 3 indicators. You got that window there, You got the light if you hook it up, and then you have that little red slide that slides across here and blocks the door. Okay, to play, we'll add some balls into your play tray. I'll put the bucket back. Now we'll pull down the flipper, and we'll pull down all the way and quickly let go. The first time you do that, a ball won't shoot. It'll actually be loading a ball into the shooter lane. After that, every time you pull down, it should fire. So nothing happened that time. Now we'll pull down and fire. Now the ball bounced around the pins, and then it dropped through this outlet out and into the back into the bucket. And the object of the game is to try and get it to go into any of these pockets. If it goes into any of these pockets, you'll get the jackpot. So we got a jackpot. The lights flashed and it paid out balls into the tray here. Now these three are called tulips because as the ball goes in, if it's closed, the tulip will open, and if the tulip's open and a ball goes in, it'll close. So it's a back and forth. If you get a ball to go through the center, if there's tulips that are open, closed, it'll open them. Let's play for a little bit. Okay, great. We got several jackpots. Now the balls are filling up into the play tray. Eventually, if the tray gets too full, they'll back up into the receiving tray down here. Now when you have too many balls here and you need to take them out so that you can maybe refill your tray and back, there's a little white lever here. And you're just going to push that over to the left. And when you slide it to the left, the ball should flow through down to this tray. If they don't, it could be because the weight of the balls is so much that it's causing them to jam, in which case you would just take your finger and kind of loosen the balls. Let's give it a try. Okay, so that works fine. Now when someone comes up here, maybe kids or someone who doesn't know anything about pachinko, the tendency is to grab the flipper and hold on to the whole flipper. And when they do that, a ball won't launch. In fact, it'll just go into the shooter lane and it'll stay there. So if they do it again, they'll get two balls in the shooter lane. And if they keep doing it, they'll just keep loading balls into that shooter lane. Now eventually, if they get too many in there and they try and flip it, they may not be able to launch out on the play field. Let's try. So they went up part way and then they rolled back into the receiving tray. So now we should be able to shoot. So that was great. If for some reason they have so many balls, if they do that so many times that they fill up the shooter lane and even pulling down the flipper doesn't clear it, then you'll have to open the play tray door. And to do that, you've got to open the play field door. You never need to use the key. There's no keys for these machines when they came from Japan. But there's just a lever in back that you'll use to open this. We'll take a look at that real quick. So right here across from the battery, there's this little piece of metal. If I lift up on it, I can swing open that play field door. And from there, I can open the play tray door with the little lever right in this corner here. And you would just push down on it, and then you could pull the door open. But you'll want to empty the balls out of the play tray first. Okay, that covers the basics for your machine. One last thing with the door open, I like to do this before folks come over, is open the door up and then open up all the tulips. Just open the playfield door and you can drop a ball in one of the tulips, or we'll drop it through the top.